Okay, today we will learn about line, curve, and angle. But for the first part, we will learn about line. I think that all of you know what is the line. We also find the line in our daily activities, like we draw a line or we find a line from our daily activities object, like a box, a table. We found a line. For the first part, we will learn about definition of line. Line is a combination of point. Line is a strange arrangement of point. A line made of a set of points which is extended in opposite directions infinitely. Line can be defined as a straight object of geometry that has length but no width. Naturally, a line has infinite length. However, it can be segmented. A line is defined by 2 points. Look at the picture, point A and point B. A part of a line that has defined endpoint is called a line segment. Look at the picture, point A and point B make a line segment AB. The second part is about various kinds of lines. There are 4 various kinds of line: vertical line, horizontal line, diagonal line, and angular line. For the first, we will learn about vertical line. Look at the picture. This is a vertical line. Vertical line, a line that extends upwards and downwards. Vertical line is a line parallel to the y-axis in coordinate Cartesius. Okay, the second is horizontal line. Look at the picture. This is horizontal line. Horizontal line, a line which extends to the right and left direction. Horizontal line is a line to the parallel to the x-axis in coordinate Cartesius. And the third, diagonal line. We can look the picture, diagonal line. Diagonal line, a line segment that goes from one corner to other corner, but is not an edge. And the last is angular line. Look at the picture. This is angular line. Angular line like this. Line which meet each other at one point and creating angle. Look at the picture. Angular line creating an angle at one point. Okay, the last topic about line is position line to other line. There are 4 position line to other line: parallel lines, perpendicular lines, coinciding lines, and intersect lines. The first is a parallel lines. Look at the picture. This is a parallel lines. Parallel lines like this, lines in a plane which do not meet, that is two straight lines on a same plane and never intended to extended indefinitely. The second is perpendicular lines. Look at the picture. This is a perpendicular lines. Perpendicular lines like this is the relationship between two lines which intersect and from right angle. The third is coinciding lines. Look at the picture. This is a coinciding lines. Coinciding lines like this. 2 or more lines that lay exactly on top of each other. The last or the fourth is intersect line. Look at the picture. This is intersect line. Intersect line like this. Intersecting lines are 2 or more lines that cross, meet at one point.
Well, we have heard the explanation of the line from my friends before. For the next explanation, I will try to explain about the curve. The first point I will try to explain is about definition of curve. What is definition of curve? Curve is one-dimensional geometric shapes can be located in a plane or space. What is one-dimensional shape? One-dimensional shapes are measured in only one direction. It is defined as a line. The example of one-dimensional shape are line and curve. Okay, the example of curve in reality is such as wheel, sound wave, rubber band, spider web, plate, ball, and I think there's many examples of curve in our daily life. Okay, after we talk about definition of curve, we continue the second with the kinds of curve. In generally, there are two kinds of curve. The first is open curve and the second is closed curve. Okay, we start for the first is open curve. When we call the shape is open curve, we call it open curve if when the first point is doesn't meet the last point. In the picture, you can see that point A as the first point doesn't meet point B as the last point. So point A until point B doesn't create an area. The example of open curves are somewhere, spiral webs, and many others. Okay, we continue for the second kind of curve. The second is closed curve. When we call the shape is closed curve, we call it closed curve if the first point is met with the last point. In the picture, we can see that point A as the first point is met with the point B as the last point. So point A until point B create an area or a particular area as a closed curve. And the example of closed curves are wheels, rubber bands, plates, ball, and there is many things that can be find as a closed curve. Alright, I think that's all for the explanation about curve. The next explanation about angle will be explained with my friends. Thank you so much.
The last topic is angle. In this topic, I will explain about definition of angles, kinds of angles, the relation between angles, and angles created when a pair of parallel lines is intersected by another pair of parallel lines. Definition of angles. Two rays or two lines and both ray and line can intersect each other at one point to form an angle. Next, kinds of angle. First, right angle. Right angle is an angle whose measure is exactly 90 degrees. Okay, let's see the picture. And then I have a book. In this book, we can see about right angle. For example, from this to this is example of a right angle. Okay, and then from this to this is example of right angle. Second, acute angle. Acute angle is an angle whose measure is less than 90 degrees. Mathematically expressed as alpha is less than 0 less than 90 degree. Third, obtuse angle. Obtuse angle is an angle whose measure is greater than 90 degrees. Mathematically expressed as alpha is less than 90 degrees and less than 180 degrees. Four, straight angle. Straight angle is an angle whose measure is exactly 180 degrees. Okay. I have a book, and then for the example of straight angle is from this to this. Okay. From this to this or from this to this
is example for straight angles. 5. Full rotation angles. Full rotation angle is an angle whose measure is exactly 360 degrees. For the example, I have a ball, and then this is for example of the full rotation angles. Exactly 360 degrees. 6. Reflex angle. Reflex angles is an angle whose measure is greater than 180 degrees, but less than 360 degrees. Next, the relation between angles. If more than one line intersect such that some angles are formed, the relation between angles can be formed as well. Supplementary angles. Supplementary angles are two angles which make the sum of the measure is 180 degrees. For the example, we can see the picture. From the picture is 2x plus 3 degree plus x minus 6 degree equals 180 degree. Then 2x degree plus x degree equals 180 degree minus 3 degrees plus 6 degrees. Then 3x degrees equals 183 degree. So x degree equals 63 degree. Complementary angles. Complementary angles are two angles which make the sum of the measure is 90 degrees. For the example, we can see the picture. From the picture, 2x degree plus x degree equals 90 degree. Then 3x degree equals 90 degree. So x degree is 30 degree. Opposite angles. Opposite angles are two angles which are opposite to each other and formed by two intersecting lines, and they have the same measure. So, for the example, we can see the picture. We have angles POS equals angles ROQ, and then angles POR equals angles SOQ. The last topic is angles created when a pair of parallel lines is intersected by another pair of parallel lines. First, corresponding angles. The angles that occupy same relative position while pair of parallel lines are intersected by another line. Second, alternate interior angles. Pair of angles which are on the opposite side of transversal and are outside the two lines. Third, alternate exterior angles. Pair of angles which are on the opposite side of transversal and are inside the two lines. 4. Consecutive interior angles. Pair of angles which are on one side of transversal and are inside the two lines. 5. Pair of angles which are on one side of transversal and are outside the two lines.
Okay, the last is the example. We will look to the use line, curve, and angle from the object. The first object is hanger. This object used three lines to draw this, two diagonal line and one horizontal line, and use open curve to draw this. Look at the picture. And there are three angle we have it from the picture. There are two acute angle and one obtuse angle. And the second is a door. Look at the border from the door. There are close curve to draw this and two vertical line and one horizontal line to the border of the object. From the border of the object we have two right angle, and if we have a line to this from this, we have two acute angle, and the center we have a vertical line. And the painter we can use any line this like this. This is a vertical line, this is a horizontal line, and use close curve to the pattern.